Dear class, a small clarification of my previous Gaddisian rant about Gaddis's great novel. I meant to point out that in the book, Gaddis invents a sequel to the famous Scopes trial, where human evolution was debated, and a man called Scopes was accused of violating Tennessee's Butler Act, which made it unlawful to teach human evolution in any state-funded school. Well, we're almost back at that point, but that's what our central character, McCandless, or our hero, McCandless, he is in effect Gaddis's alter ego in the book, although he's by no means a perfect human being, rather a rip, rather a kind of a promiscuous chap who, there's another character in the novel called Lester who assumes that McCandless has always been abandoned by the various women in his life. It seems actually more likely that McCandless himself has just moved on. Now, McCandless is a geologist turned school teacher who has fallen foul of the rules, currently returning to America for what I hope is a farewell tour, but I fear might be a lengthy reprise of the Christian censorship of teaching of evolution or any discomforting facts about racism in American history, or the persecution of the Jews, or anything that, as the Republican Party sees it, might be depressing, discomforting. We had this in Britain when, really a long time ago, in the 60s, I think it was, there was a long television series being prepared on British history, on the Empire, and the BBC, the official government organ, that was almost the only available television channel at the time. Now, thank God, we have almost as many as you have here. But at the time, the producers of this huge long documentary were forbidden to mention certain facts because they were told that they must not promote civil unrest. It's the same argument that the Republicans use. You don't alarm the populace. The populace are much happier believing all kinds of myths, of soppy mythologies, and have the facts glossed over, not mentioned at all. That's safer to keep the people down. And we were told that openly, without apology, rather like Trump and his Republican Party. We were told quite openly, don't disturb them, don't trouble them, don't give them bad news. They don't want to hear about atrocities past. Give them good news. So this is a trial that, rather like the famous Scopes trial on the same subject, that Gaddis has invented, taking place in a town called Smackover, which seems a wonderful name and quite implausible, but you'll be given to understand that the original name, and this is difficult unless you can pronounce French with confidence, because you have to pronounce French extremely fast, was a town originally called Chemin Couvert. And the Chemin Couvert is a covered way, could be covered by, I don't know, trees, leaves, could be covered by overhanging earth. Anyway, it's covered. And if you take Chemin Couvert, of which there are many in every country except countries like Egypt that don't have very many opportunities to cover a way with natural substance, if you say Chemin Couvert fast enough, Chemin Couvert, Chemin Couvert, Chemin Couvert, Chemin Couvert, Chemin Couvert, Chemin Couvert, you get to Smackover. I think it's a particularly delicious concept of Gaddis's. So I wanted to mention that among the many gems, I particularly treasure the idea that the character of Paul, the adopted son who, possibly of Jewish origin, which does no favor to us Jews, possibly of Jewish origin, the adopted son who has married Elizabeth, is told by his own father, or actually his adoptive father, to tell the truth, that he was lucky to go in as an officer because he was not sufficiently qualified to be an enlisted man. He didn't have the qualities necessary to be an enlisted man. He could only be an officer. I'm sure it's not the first time that someone has looked at military rank that way, but it's particularly delicious. And then, of course, later in the book, you discover that his glorious, heroic past was not the result of enemy fire, but of extremely friendly fire. His own men fragged him, as the saying was, and they blew him up in his bed. They were so sick of him. Actually, he was threatening to report one of his crew, one of his soldiers, for using heroin, and that was foolish. It's hard to believe that Paul had it in him to do something not just so stupid, but so honorable. Maybe he doesn't. It's possible to read this book over and over, as I have, and miss things. It's a mesmeric piece of prose that makes it very hard to retain all of it, and I love it for that. You can go back to this book, I promise you, many times, over and over, and for many years, and keep rediscovering it as if it's an entirely new book. You may not be entirely surprised by that if you are struggling with the book itself, but I promise it repays rereading as much as any book I know. So good luck with it, and good luck with the quiz that I'm about to hand out, and I hope you survive the reading of Carpenter's Gothic. If it turns out to be particularly arduous and demanding, I will make sure that you have much easier reading to come. So good luck, be safe, be warm. We have a wonderful bright day out here in the Catskill Mountains where the snow is finally melting. Oh, joy. Take care, my dears. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.